I don't
Mm.
treat fear as something bad. It's actually something I want to go into and ask, like, why I feel it.
Yeah.
Is it something really scary? Is it really something dangerous? That's actually something that can bring my attention in if I am feeling afraid of something. It's just I want to understand why.
Good day, filmmaker Natalia Koniarz of the award-winning film Silver. Natalia, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. And you? How are you today?
I am well. I am so happy that I am getting the chance to speak with you. So, Silver won at Slamdance. Some of the reviews were just stunning. It's a really stunning documentary. I think the best description that I saw for it was cinema that delights with maturity. And I felt like that really touched me, that description. Slamdance is not the only award that the film won. And obviously you didn't make this film to win awards, but how does it make you feel, or what does it tell you that the film has won so many awards at so many different festivals?
It's I'm very grateful. Just it's I hope this gonna give more visibility to the topic. Then I would like to maybe think of it as a success to build a visibility of this injustice more than about myself. But I'm very grateful that this film can be shown in very different continents and at very different festivals, sometimes human rights, artistic, independent festivals as well, but also mountain festivals. I think that's interesting that they can find something in this film. In every each place, it's finding something different for them. So I was actually quite surprised that the mountains festivals are accepting the film because in general it's not about adventure and it's not about mountains culture. But it is in a way, but in
Yeah.
tricky way.
And it's so gorgeously shot. So if someone is listening to this, they haven't seen Silver, what do you want them to know about the film?
It's the story of Bolivian mine, the biggest silver mine in the world, where we are following few characters, a child, a man, a female, who are surviving there and just trying to live. And it's the place where 8 million people lost their life. So there is a big history behind. And it's film more, it's very immersive film where you have to immerse into the world. There is no explanation of history or there is no interviews. So it's more like you can just put a minor shoes and make a few steps in those shoes. That's it.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
how did you determine, like, it's like I said, it's so beautifully shot. Was that one of your intentions going in of, like, showing the mines in a way that I've never seen in a film before?
From the beginning, I knew that it's gonna be made in such a way because first I was asking the miners and people around how they would make the film
Ooh.
and what they would like to see in that film. So I was researching a lot and I wanted to make this film from their perspective. And their perspective doesn't need to explain things. For them, everything is clear. It's more seeing the life that they have around. And this life and this place, it can be cruel, but it's also very beautiful. That's the paradox. So I was trying to find the perfect way to keep this feeling, how I felt from my memory, how I felt being there, what I remember today from this place. This is how I start to work on the shots and but there is also a lot of other ideas. There is a inside DGI a lot of shots inside the mine, and they are representing the local god. They are believing in the devil, and the devil is living in the mountain underground. So a lot of miners are they have memories of meeting the god, of meeting the devil. So we wanted to find a language, a visual language, to have it in the film. So obviously, it was the one that you are, yeah, the one we have. Yeah.
And no one, Natalia, any of the producers, they were like, "You need to explain more, you need to show the au tell the audience more." You never got any of that? Or did you just you knew your vision, you stuck with it even though people told you that maybe there needs to be more explanations in this film?
That's a very difficult choice. I think every director always is questioning their own his
Right.
own the choices we are taking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because on one hand, there is a question if it's better to make a film for the bigger audience, and the bigger audience usually needs more words and
Explanation.
explanations. And but it was against my beliefs, and it was against myself, how I see the world and what I feel. So I was more following my own feelings and who I am, and then I don't know the success of distribution. Of course, it's a challenge. It's not like we are giving up, but we knew it's gonna be harder because of it. And there were my producer was very supportive. I've met people, we've been challenging this idea, and I've met people who've been completely crushed by the film, and I met those who haven't feel anything. And I think it's the way that things exist in the art. I think that's the point sometimes. It's just hard to be on both sides.
Yeah. I don't know who those people are who didn't feel anything after watching this film, like, I maybe check their pulse or something might be wrong. Natalia, can you take me back to the beginning? Like, how'd you know you wanted to get involved in filmmaking?
I was very lucky because I'm from small mountain village in Poland, actually peasants family of people who are working on the fields, farmers. And I didn't know even what is the difference between cinematography and directors when I was trying to submit myself to the film school, submit my papers and everything and application. And but I was in love with photography, so I was just trying to find myself, and I don't know how. I was lucky they take me in. That's quite difficult because we have only 8 places, so
Wow.
it's really difficult to get in. And I made my first film, and just by following my feelings, and then everything changed because this film was over, I think, 60 festivals around the world. It won a lot of awards. And I've learned, all right, that's my access. This is something that I really know how to do. And I didn't know it before it. So I would say there is a luck. There was a lot of good luck, and but also I think I was dreaming of having very different lives as a kid, just having this and this, trying this and this. And it's impossible usually, but when you are a writer or where you are making documentaries, you have this privilege that you can dive into the world that usually you don't have access to be in and just be part of this reality and this world for some time. And that's super beautiful. So I was in love with this. And now we are making and working on the film of the underground fights in Asia. And also it's very fascinating to be part of this.
What? Oh my god. Underground fights in Asia?
Yeah. I can't say more now, but it's very fascinating.
Wow, that's so crazy. So, are the other 7 people your classmates in from this school, are they as successful? Have they found success, or has it just been hit or miss?
I think they're trying to find a way still, but very talented people. So it's like
Okay,
limited. But most of people are interested in fiction.
okay.
I think that's a common thing actually, because it's course that you don't have to choose documentary or fiction. You are working on both. You have to make fiction and documentary always every year to finish the university, to finish film school.
And what drove you to documentary? So in 2018, you made your first short
Mhm.
filmmaking about refugees, trips, people finding themselves in relationships. Like you've done like these outrageous topics, like now underground fighting in Asia. What draws you to the extreme sort of topics?
I don't. I have this feeling that they are choosing me more than I'm choosing this.
Ooh,
I'm not
I love
thinking
that.
like topics. It's not like I don't think about it too much. It just taking me in. There is something outside of my will that it's saying, "Look, this is gonna follow you. This is." gonna be around for days
Mm,
and present the topic, theme, the story, and it's a hunter, and it's hunting me. So I don't feel like I'm looking for it. But I was, I think, always interested in the stories that they are touching the topic of the world that has issues, or immigrants, or ecology, or other topics like alcoholics, addicts. My first film was about addicts, but there is a lot of life, concentrated life in those topics. So it's hard to describe it, because sometimes not everything is a tragedy. Sometimes it's
right.
just your intuition without really overthinking of things, just following your heart. And it sounds so simple, some, or maybe even banal, pretentious, but that's actually my truth. And the immigrants, I didn't choose this topic. I was just I stuck in South America for 1.5 years. I was living in the tent in a garage. So at a certain moment, I was illegally passing the border to just change the country because I wanted to come back home. And then I
Oh
met
my
this
god.
story, and I had camera of me, and it happened. So I was just following what is happening around. It wasn't like me choosing to, I don't know, hunting some stories.
But there's some element of this of you going after these stories. I'm not leaving my bed tonight to go sleep in a tent for a year and a half, and I would
Yeah.
assume most people don't have that motivation. So there's something in you with that motivation to do things that are uncomfortable for most other people, and maybe that's why your stories are so unique, is that it is uncomfortable for most other people, but for you, you're willing to do that to tell the story, and maybe it just feels natural for you and not like something that you're trying to do purposefully.
It's uncomfortable for me, also, but I'm used to this
Right.
feeling. Also, I'm used to feel fear. The fear, I don't treat fear as something bad. It's actually something I want to go into and ask, like, why I feel it.
Yeah.
Is it something really scary? Is it really something dangerous? That's actually something that can bring my attention in if I am feeling afraid of something. It's just I want to understand why. So maybe that's the reason that I'm actually trying to understand why things are scary, or some people could say, I don't know, living into those with those people on the borders and crossing those borders could be maybe uncomfortable and dangerous. For me, it was just interesting because I have
Yeah.
access to life that I would not have being back home. So I wanted to use this privilege to see life in this shape, in this certain under those certain conditions. Yeah.
Just incredible. So your film, before you made Silver, you made Postcards from the Verge in 2023. It went to Telluride, and it's right there at the line between short and feature. Telluride obviously is one of the probably top 10 film festivals in the world. They don't take very many shorts. What did you Were you already thinking of Silver when you made that film? And then what did you take from that experience of having that celebrated run for that film before Silver?
So when I made the postcard, I was still learning and trying to find my own voice, my own language, like my own visual artistic approach. And I didn't trust myself yet. And I promised myself working on postcard because I was asking a lot of people, how do you feel it? What do you think about it? That I'm not gonna do it in my next film of my feature debut. But yes, I was thinking about my feature debut because when I've done and when I was shooting the postcard, that was the moment when I stuck in South America. But at the end of that way, also I stuck in Bolivian mine. That was before. It was everything because of pandemia. So it was like a connected story. First, I was recording myself being and living on the border because of the pandemia, and at the end I stuck in the mine. So I decided to make a mine my debut and just spent another 2 years of there in the mine understanding the reality. So while I was shooting the silver, the mines film, I finished and the postcards, the film. So it was very connected, and the lesson was so I was scared of just letting go the artistic
Right.
process, and I was asking people, about their opinion. It was, and I was editing with few peoples, but Silver was very different because with Silver I was just there was just me and my amazing editor Yael Biton. For 7 months we've been editing Monday, Friday, 10 hours per day, just two of us in the process,
Wow.
without anyone, and after also no producer, no one, just us, very intimate, a very friendly relationship and process. So it was very different to just be with someone so close for such a long time and with the topic, and without having this the outsiders, like the opinion from the outside world, to see from different perspective maybe. So it was difficult, challenging, but very beautiful, and I think this is why this film looks like that.
Wow. And are you planning on using the same similar team that you put together for Silver for your next documentary?
Yes, I'm working always with the same cinematographer. The first
Okay.
documentary was actually Tama, the Dan, the
Okay.
one that I did in my, then was the postcards, and now also his name is Stanisław Suske. He also was camera operator for Hamnet or The Zone of Interest. You might see in these
Wow.
films.
Absolutely.
So we love to work together, and I would love to work with Yael again, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible because that was a co-production with France, so it's not always that easy.
Wow. So these films should be seen in a dark theater, and that's challenging for documentaries. How do you feel about the distribution process, and what would you like to see change regarding that?
Change? You mean change
Like
in
anything you were like, Man, I wish maybe there was more funding for documentaries to get
mhm.
distribution or more theaters that show documentaries, something you wish could change that made the distribution process a little easier.
I agree here that this film needs the darkness and a
I
sound.
know.
And yes, and streaming, of course, is reality now. And usually it works, but some films really depend on the collective experience. And when you see it in the dark cinema and you hear the mountain breathing through the surround sound, and it really became physical for you. There is something really strong about this experience. And I was aware from the beginning that doesn't make distribution easier of that film. But it's still just the beginning, and we are on the festival run. So I hope this film gonna find a way to be in some bigger, maybe streaming spaces to be seen there or to be found. I don't have this information yet, but I expect it's gonna be more still smaller, limited, and more like artistic streaming than Netflix or something like that. I
Of
don't.
course.
But we're gonna see. But I don't. That's my own. I don't see the way for such a film. It's very different language. But we have the Polish. We have we had a Polish theatrical distribution. It was distributed over 50 cinemas, and
Awesome.
so that was great. And I love to have this contact with people, to be on the Q&A, and there is a lot of stories about the film that I can add that they are not in the film, they are not in the story. But I would love to have much more opportunities from the streaming and distribution side for such a documentaries. And I'm crossing my fingers that one day we're gonna find a way to have both. I don't believe there is a perfect language or perfect way to make documentaries. I think we can have them all and find a way to connect those very different languages and appreciate those differences. But this is a good question. Thank you.
I'm crossing my fingers too. You're based in Paris, I believe, and it sounds like you travel to Poland quite frequently. Why do you love those locations? I feel like probably you wouldn't want to live anywhere else for what you're doing.
It's essential.
Yeah.
It's just very helpful to have this support from the States. And that's actually game changer. Also, how easy is in Europe easier to have co-productions between countries. I think it's much easier also to work with different people. We have a co-production with Norway, we have a co-production with Finland, we have an editor from France, and the Polish supported the film mainly. But also, what I really appreciate is the support from the friends and people around the community of filmmakers, and it wouldn't be possible for me to work for such a long time without support around. Because it took us 4 years to finish the film, so it's four
Wow.
years not working on other projects. It's a challenge for independent filmmakers. So I would say the public support and the friends, the community around. That's my answer. How to survive, actually.
Love that. What's next for you? I know you mentioned underground fighting in Asia, which I cannot wait to see. Are there any other projects you can talk about? And then what's the best way for somebody who's listening to follow along on your journey? Is it Instagram? Do you have a website?
I have Instagram. I have to build my website, but always I'm gonna find something more important to do than
Edit
marketing
the
or
website.
social media. I would love to have more
Oh,
motivation, but I
it's
have
the
Instagram.
same.
Yeah, I have Instagram. It's called Verite Vision, and you can find some news about my new projects there. I
Okay.
can't talk about them yet, but
Okay.
there are some rushes, some excerpts of my work. Some of them is from Asia, some of from Middle East. But I'm describing there sometime the process, how I am diving into the
Yeah.
stories, trying to find how I'm looking for the access, the trust, the setup I have. So that's the place where you can find those answers.
Is there a place in the world, Natalia, that you haven't been that you're like dying to go to?
Mm,
Trying to, I
I
mean, like Asia, Middle East, like South America, like where
mm,
haven't you want to tell like Ukraine, Russian story?
yeah, Ukraine I have on the border, so I was there. I hope soon it's gonna be easier to be there
Yeah.
again. Russia, no. I think I would love to learn languages of few countries so I can, because I think it's necessary to have some kind of this kind of access. So I would love to learn Arabic. I would love to learn some Asian. Maybe I would love to go actually to Japan. So maybe that's not very extreme compared to the topics, but culture is very interesting for me. So I would love to learn a language and just spend some times there.
You're already doing this interview in English and I assume Polish and French. So I think just
And
incredible.
Spanish. Yeah, yeah.
And
But
Spanish.
it's
So yeah.
yeah, but it's not yeah, but it's not that easy. It sound maybe just it's I have learned English just on the way, so I didn't have it in the school. So it's just I think that's very helpful when you are traveling. And I haven't known anything in Spanish when I arrived in South America, and I was just trying listen and listen and listen. I was listening and listening, and finally I just learned the language, and now I can talk in Spanish, but it's not a native Spanish, and it's not a native English. It's not I'm not native, so maybe that
Right.
can be a motivation. But it's enough to communicate, I think, and it's enough to
Yeah.
express yourself and what do you feel and who you are. So I would love to learn another one. It's a great
Oh my
access. I really recommend it. To just the language, it's fun, play with and go there.
Yeah, I don't think you realize how incredible you sound right now. So, indie
No,
film podcast, like I'm barely like I'm on like a 700-day Duolingo streak on my Spanish, and it's still
so I can recommend
Puqueño.
you probably you have to just go to South America and live in the tent where you don't have
Right.
access to the translator on the phone, and you just have to. There is no way that you have to explain yourself. You have to just to say something because I didn't know really. And one of the first words I've learned was God, because everyone was talking about God in that time. I don't know why. First, I started to talk about God, and then about myself. So
That's just so incredible. So, indie film podcast, it sounds like you have worked with a great team that has given you support. Sounds like you've had great relationships with other filmmakers as part of your journey. And the idea behind the podcast is supporting other people when people find success. So, is there a film out there or filmmaker that you wish more people knew about?
We have two independent filmmakers in Poland that I really like. They films. One is Damian Kocur. I can send you later maybe the films
Yes,
I love,
I'd
and
love
another
that.
is Michał Chmielewski, also a Polish guy. He made a film in English actually, so would be I think it's accessible in US. I
Okay.
think executive producer there is Wim Wenders, which is interesting because the film is really indie and independent. So I think that might be a good example, maybe, of how those two worlds can connect and create something together.
Natalia Koniarz, the film is Silver. It won so many different awards, rightfully for just gorgeous storytelling, gorgeous cinematography. You obviously gave so much of you into this film, living in a tent. Like it shows through on the film how much love you gave to it. And I'm just so thrilled that you were able to join me for the podcast. I'm cheering for your success, and please come back when we get underground fighting. Like that is just the most insane story. I hope that I get to be like one of the first people to see it because it's such an incredible topic, and I'm sure you're going to be in some underground right there with them, giving us a ringside view of what that's like. And I just wish I'm both like so happy that we have you, but wish that there were more filmmakers that were willing to take like the risk that you are of just getting out in the world and showing it. And I am just so grateful that you gave me a little time to chat with you about it for the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I think that we have a lot of them. That's just we are just difficult to find. Sometimes we are difficult giving prices. But thank you so much for having me and crossing my fingers for people who are watching and dreaming about films.